Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to answer if Nikola stock is a buy, sell, or a hold. To answer that question, I'm going to look at its revenue, its cash flow, its profits, and its valuation, and then I'll reveal whether I think it's a buy, hold, or sell. So let's jump right in, starting with revenue. And you can see the company only recently started generating revenue, 57.28 million in the most recent trailing 12-month period. The company is ramping up production and switching over to hydrogen fuel trucks from battery electric trucks. It's still selling the battery electric trucks, but in terms of production, it's not producing any more of those because it has inventory on hand and it's waiting to sell that inventory before it produces more of those models. Now it's focusing on producing the hydrogen fuel trucks, and it provides an essential transition to alternative fuel technology, although the difficulty is in the cost, right? If you're looking at enterprises looking to switch from traditional trucks over to these alternative energy trucks, the cost of operation, the cost of overall ownership is so much higher to the older models. So that's really where the government is trying to step in and provide incentives. But even with the incentives, it can still be more expensive. So it's taking time for adoption to increase, and Nikola can help itself by lowering production costs and being able to sell these trucks at lower prices. That could make it available to more enterprises looking to make that switch over to the alternative energy trucks. And so with sales so low, the company is not generating enough revenue to offset much of its cost structure. And so in the trailing 12 months, Nikola lost 744 million in operating income. The company has made adjustments to lower its costs, and you could see that improvements here starting in 2023, where the losses have leveled off instead of continuing on that downward trajectory. As it continues to make sales and increase deliveries, it could help its operating income improve and start to move upward. Cash flow from operations for Nikola shows a similar story. It was on a downward trend and now it's turned upward, negative 500 million in negative 590 million in the most recent trailing 12-month period. Now, one factor that could improve cash flow is what I mentioned earlier, and that is that it's not producing any more of the battery electric trucks. It's selling the inventory that it has on hand. And when a company does that, it improves cash flow from operations because selling inventory brings in cash, right? You're selling your cars, your trucks, and you're bringing in cash. And so that's improving your cash flow from operations, especially if you're not producing newer trucks. So you're not replacing those that you're selling. So what's happening is just trucks are leaving, cash is coming in, and that could boost cash flow from operations for Nikola. And from here on out, management has said they're going to do more of a build to order strategy instead of building before sales. What that means is they're not going to build these trucks unless someone has purchased it already, unless someone has ordered it. And that way, it reduces the risk that Nikola will build these trucks and then they'll have to hold it in inventory, which will be like cash sitting around not earning a return. And so I think that's a more prudent strategy, but let's see if that works to improve its cash flow from operations over the next few quarters. And so with so much cash outflow, the company does need to continue raising new money in order to sustain itself until it can be break even, at least on the bottom line and in cash flow. And you can see the average shares outstanding increased from around 350 million all the way up to 708 million. And the company did announce that it is likely to sell more shares. It recently got approval to sell as many as, to increase its shares outstanding as much as 1.6 billion. So investors can reasonably expect more dilution going forward. And finally, I wanted to look at valuation, and Nikola stock is trading at a forward price to sales of 1.865. This is down significantly from the forward price to sales of over 36. It was selling at one point in 2022. But as I often say, I would argue it should never have been that expensive to begin with. I would say it was overvalued then, and I would say it's overvalued now. If I was an investor looking to invest in Nikola stock, I would not be buying right now. I would be waiting to see the company make more progress in developing the business, in making the business more sustainable. So until then, I would not buy the stock. I would say it's closer to the borderline of a sell rather than closer to a buy. So if I was to answer buy, hold, or sell, I would choose sell, in my opinion.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.